All right, guys, thank you so much for being on here. For those that came to the pre-webinar party, we talked about some crazy things, but now we're going to talk about something truly amazing. I have here today with me Damon Nelson. He is the creator of Minions. He's put together a really, really awesome package, a great product, and I just wanted to share it with you today. This is something that my mastermind members and I have been talking about a lot. We always talk about this in business, about automating your business properties, automating everything that you don't really want to do, but you need to do for your business in the background, allowing AI to really take over and do the hard work for you while you're able to focus on other projects. So with all that being said, I'm going to hand this over to Damon Nelson. Damon, thank you so much for coming on today. Really appreciate it. I appreciate the pre-party that we had before the recording started. And if that didn't scare anyone off after the Walmart stories, then they're here to stay, man. So
yep.
On that note, without further ado, here's Damon Nelson. Thank you, Damon.
Michael, thank you very much for allowing me to join you on one of these calls here, because guys, if you've never been on Michael's calls kind of late, him and I sometimes would go off on such a tangent. It's like, what were we actually meeting for? So today we are going to talk about minions, and I want to call them real fake people, because the way that I build them out and the way that I train people on how to do this, I've been building minions for, fake personas for over 10 years. And things have changed so much on Facebook and Google about, the fake accounts, because you can build fake accounts for good stuff and you can build it for bad stuff. Well, there's a lot of people building for bad stuff, and I don't do that. I treat my minions as if they're employees, and they're my social marketing team. And so it kind of helps you share social engagements, and sometimes you can get a post to go viral if you've got 10 or 15 people talking about it. So today I want to show you a little bit about minions, a little bit about how we build them, and there's a specific way that we build them. But before I get started, I want to tell you a little story. In fact, most people on the call probably know about Patrick Tuttle and the Ranking Factory and all these guys, and they build a lot of ranking stuff off of Google properties. And he told me a long time ago, he goes, Google has prying eyes. And I thought, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I mean, he only has Ranking Factory and all these tools. I didn't believe that until something happened to me. So yes, they do have prying eyes, and they're everywhere. This is Ann Clark. This is one of my minions that I was setting up to build. I had her in Google Sheets. I did some photos from an online source, and she doesn't look like a scammer, and she's not a scammer. She was going to be a promo media marketer for me. But I've got a profile. She's a school teacher, a grandmother. So we got a lot of things to talk about. Lives in Frisco, Texas, near me. So I could use an IP that's kind of near me also. But when I went to Facebook, she was banned before I got all the way through the setup process. And I couldn't figure out what happened. And I started thinking, what steps have I changed? Well, what I used to do is I used to build all my minions on an Excel spreadsheet. And that's great because I kept it offline. And then I had a VA, and I had 2 VAs. And then we started sharing this spreadsheet all around, and I'm going to have to get rid of this because we had different versions floating around. You couldn't put images in very easily to share images. And it was kind of, it was frustrating because we didn't know which current version. So anyway, we went to Google Sheets. Google Sheets is set up perfect for a team to share a single spreadsheet, and you're able to know who's on it. But what happened was, once we shared that Google spreadsheet, I had like 30 accounts on there. We started getting social accounts. They were constantly getting verified, a verification request. Now, if you've ever set up a Facebook account, you may notice, they're going to send you a verification request. your phone number. They're going to verify through a phone number, or verify through an email. And those are easy ones to do. The hard one is send me your driver's license and a current picture with your driver's license. That's like the highest form of verification. Or send me some type of government photo ID. Well, I'm not going to fake a driver's license. So those accounts are banned. And this lady got banned before she even gets started. So the only commonality that we had between all the two VAs working for me and myself was Google Sheets. Google has prying eyes. I finally believed what Patrick Tuttle told me 5 years ago about Google properties. They share data. They can look at your data. They can see everything in it. When you have a shareable Google, you just opened it up to Google. Wayne, I talked to Wayne, my business partner, on RSS Masher and VidPenguin, and we decided we were going to do a private database that we could put online. Well, we kept on adding to this database. I said, it needs this, it needs this, it needs a marketplace, it needs a photo builder, it needs a tune maker. So we kind of put it all together, and it's a really cool database online that you can share with your VA members. And we build products that we use, and then we end up selling, the license to it. So everything that we've ever built, we're using ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And there's some interesting things once you start building minions. Is you can sell your minions, or you can buy from others and transfer them into your database. So we're building a marketplace to sell. So anyway, it's kind of exciting to see what we've done with taking a Google Sheet and making it into a private database that you could do everything all in one place. That's why we built this. And at the same time, we're hiding it from Google so they don't know who these minions are that we're building. And they can't share it to Facebook or Twitter or any of these other social profiles. So you want to see how the solution to the problem, I want to show you the database and show you some of the things that you can do with the database. I use the database. In fact, the other day is I'm building a listicle website so I could do some paid ads to some of my blog posts. And I needed some authors because I don't want to be the face of this new site. So I went into Minion Builders, maybe a couple authors, got them some emails. Really, really cool things that you can do if you have something that's easy to make these personas. But before I want to go into the demo, I wanted to go over some Minion math. And I used to have a marketing agency. I actually ran a marketing agency for a few years, and I had employees, and employees get paid. You have to pay taxes for them. You have to take out Social Security, everything. Kind of, if you've got a small to mid-sized company, you know all the hassles that you have with payroll and everything else. So I got rid of my marketing. I basically sold my marketing agency, and all the employees went with that. But I wanted to go over some numbers with you. So an average salary for a senior social media marketing manager is $63,000, and it can go as high as $90,000. This is according to Udacity. But the starters, starting a local Dallas-based social media marketer is about $32,000 a year, and they could reach up to $100,000. In Texas, now I wasn't paying $42,000 including benefits. Mine was a little bit lower, but it was about 5 years ago that I had this. So I was around $36,000 for starting employees. And you get three employees at that, you're going to have to be selling some ads. You're going to have to be selling some marketing services, because they get paid every other week. They got paid. Whether or not I got paid, they got paid. So what I want to do is just a little math so you can kind of justify, should you spend a little bit of time making a minion, setting one up? What are they worth to you? Well, breaking this down, 42,000, it's 3,500 per month, and it actually comes out to $22 an hour that I was paying a local person that was in the office with me. Now you can get VAs to do this, and that's where some of the work is done by VAs now, but I'm going to just kind of lay out, this is what the time was that they actually worked on. So profile maintenance, this is building an account, building a Facebook up, building an Instagram, linking them all together, making sure everything's good on it. The content creation, you got to post, and you got to post constantly. Well, there's new tools out there that do the posting automatically for you. You got to have a scheduler, or else with these guys, with my employees, they were actually posting the schedules themselves off of a whiteboard that we had with calendar grids on it. They have to do social engagements. Now, this is what, where they're liking, sharing, following, and then you get client feedback. They've got to go talk to the client that we had that we were doing their work, their services. And what I was finding out was about 10 hours of their work was devoted to their own personal stuff, which I didn't quite understand. I was paying them salary, so I was paying for their personal time. So what does a minion spend their time on? Well, same things, but we've learned to automate all this process. And I use Minion Builders to do my profile maintenance, pictures, bios, descriptions, even the IP addresses I use, the phone numbers I use to verify. That's what the database is for. And I also have a VA helping me. It's not working full time, but my VA runs me about $500 a month. So a little bit cheaper than $3,600 a month. Content creation, we use RSS Master. This is our flagship tool that we pull RSS feeds, we make them put them in a schedule, and we post them out to our WordPress, our social sites, our social Twitter, and we go through Zapier. All this stuff can be done automatically. I also have a service called Q. They hand select articles, and then they put them in my Facebook. They put them, or they send them to a scheduler, and my scheduler does all the work for me. Scheduling content, we use Zapier, IFTTT. I also use SocialBee. Social engagements, I use a tool called Jarvie that likes, shares, follows, but more importantly is it logs into these accounts every day and just scrolls, just like you would do on your normal Facebook. So we make it look like a normal Facebook user, where they would go to their Facebook, they would maybe click into a group, scroll up and down, go to Twitter, and you're scrolling all the time. So I use a tool to automate this. And then client feedback. I don't have as many clients as I used to, thank goodness. I fired a few of the clients. They took up a lot of time, but I've got a couple of clients that I work with right now, and I do a lot of this automation process for them, and I send them an automated report. I'll talk to them about once a month. That's usually right before I invoice them. There is no personal stuff, no personal time being spent by a minion. All this is automated. So I've eliminated a lot of the cost of a couple of employees just by automating things. So let's talk about Minion Builders, kind of how we set things up and get the ball rolling. Okay. But the biggest question, when you have employees and they've created all these social accounts for you, what happens when they leave? Well, those social accounts usually go dormant, or they go away. Or in one case, I had an employee change all the passwords. He had his own personal accounts tied to it. What can you do? I mean, I lost a year's worth of social content that we had created because an employee left. So with my minions, I don't lose content. I own these minions. So how do you control them? How do you set them up? Well, let's check out the demo. Any questions to this point before we go? Looks like
I don't see any here. I've seen a couple of chit chats, people asking about replays, things like that.
Okay.
I don't see anything over on the Facebook group just yet, but I'll let you know.
Okay. And it looks like Scott Rogers is on the call too. So Scott may actually be able to answer some of these questions if we need. Scott's been with me for a long time and we talk a lot. So I'm going to switch over here. And this is Minion Builders. This is the database. Now, let me show you really all you're going to be using on a day-to-day basis is my minions and create a minion. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a minion. And we have name sets. These are the name sets. So if you want a Scottish name or a French last name, surname, you could just choose these. And I'm going to go with American. And with American, then we have country sets. So do you want addresses in Canada or do you want addresses in the United States? Well, I'm going to go United States. I'm also going to select a female, and she's going to be working for our media company. So 26 to maybe 34 years old. And I hit filter. Now we'll pull 5 of them. And we're pulling from 3 different databases of addresses. Kind of fake name generator is one of them. And then we're pulling addresses to confirm. And we're doing a little bit of automation before it hits here. Now, what I'm going to look for is there's a Karen in there, Kimberly Mitchum, Janet Cunningham. Let's go with, she lives in New York. That's a good one. I'm going to select her. Now I can go ahead and put her in a group if I wanted. So this is client group K. I'll hold them there. Status, she's new, but I can change statuses. And I'm going to copy that selected. So I just put her in my database. And let's say I don't like any of these names. I'm just going to hit filter. I get 5 more names. Nancy McCoy. What I try to do is I try to get I want a more generic name that there might be more than one Nancy McCoy. Jacqueline Diaz, this was something, so you might get some multiples in there. New York, great address. Let's go with copy her over. Okay. So I just added 2 over there. So once you get them over on your database, I'm going to go into my minions. Now we sort them all by record number, and it's usually the oldest to the, and so I've got kind of status. Keith Hernandez is one of my, I won't sell Keith because he's got Facebook, Instagram, and he's posting on a regular basis. Good images of him. He's on Jarvie and Session Splitter. But I'm going to go to the end. So I'm just going to go to page 7. I should see my 2 new ones pop up. Okay. This was Donna Robbins. I had to generate her for my new website. Let's go in and look at Nancy. So I'm going to highlight Nancy. I'm going to hit edit. So this is all the information we generate for you. We get two sheets of information that we generate on the fly. You can change them out if you want. You can change anything that you want in here. You can also copy it. This is a copy to clipboard. So Henry Ford Avenue, New York, New York. We got, short, we got the full state in there. And we got a website domain, Optimum Bus. Let's give her a college. Let's put her, let's go to maybe UNT. University of North Texas. Occupation, let's make her a blogger. And company she works for, let's Bus Marketing. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and make up just a fake email for her. And again, you can change anything that you want in here. Email domain provider. So you could even put in, if you've got an email provider, you would put in their access to get into that. You could give her a password right now. So all this is in your database. It's saved. Nobody can see it except for you and whoever you share it with, your team members. Okay. Phone number. This is where I would put my SIM card. If I've got a SIM phone number, as I would give. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm changing this to 214. This would be one of my SIM numbers. Okay. Now, this is where it takes time in the past to really make a good minion. You need a bio. You need a biography on your minion, both first person and third person, because in LinkedIn, you want first person. If you're going to like Twitter, you could use a third person profile. So we got both of them. Also, you want a corporate profile, corporate for the omnibus marketing. So I'm going to build some profiles. She's a blogger, but we got some different ones you could choose from. All the ones in black are ones for the personal. All the ones in blue are for the corporate. So we've added a couple more. a virtual assistant, a graphic designer, entrepreneur, student. So I'm going to make her a blogger. I'm just going to build some bios. This is what you put in Twitter when you're setting up the account. This is what you put in Facebook. Now, once you find one that you like, so this is third person, I'm going to go ahead and lock that one down. Let's say I want to expand this one a little bit. I'm going to let's change that. So we have spin versions. So every time you hit build, it's building a new spin version. Okay, she loves to cycle, practice yoga. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and lock that one down. And if you notice, we used UNT as our university. So as a blogger, she's got a journalism degree. She lives in New York, New York. We're using all this data here to write a profile. So if I went back and I changed where she lives, it's going to update that if I unlock it. If I unlock the bio, then I can change all that. Okay. Now, corporate bio, I want to, it's a marketing agency. So yeah, we got marketing agency. Got both those locked. So is an agency for social media marketing specializing in helping local business. Okay, that sounds pretty good, but let's try it one more time. I want you to, okay, that actually, I like that one. So you can kind of see how long. Now, this is the time if you wanted to edit, modify anything on here or add to it, lock it in. Okay. Now, if you wanted to change her date of birth, let's make her a little bit younger. So go up in years and just pick a date, March 10th. We even update the tropical sign, the zodiac sign. So she's 27 years old. This is where you would put your proxy. Now, this is where we're going to go out to this person does not exist. We've got an AI. She looks a little bit older than 27. So I'm going to go ahead and go use AI again. And a little too young. So I keep hitting this button until I find, of course, sometimes you'll get male, sometimes it's female. And what I'm looking for is kind of a generic background, okay? That might work. There's a facial blemish there, so I'm going to go ahead and try another image here. Too young. Sometimes I hit it right on the spot on the very first one. Okay, this is a great one. It's got a dark background, so it might be a little hard to do any automation there, but I'm going to go ahead and lock this one in. Now, when you lock it in and you hit update, it moves it over to right here. So now we have a picture for our minion. We've got all the details for our minion already in here. We have another page. This is just a fake password, fake username. You can put in anything that you want in here because you're using this to create accounts. That's why we have these copy buttons in here. You can even put a social security. Now, vehicle, I don't know what a Holden Nova is. 2006, I'm just going to give her a Honda Civic. Now, when would you use this? Well, in your secrets. What kind of car, so you could use this as a secret if you wanted to. Height, weight, let's go in here. She's not 213. Let's make her maybe 143. So we even changed kilograms. She's 5'7". If you have a Send Creator account, you can put in that information here. Spouse's first name, children's name, hobbies, social pages visited. Now we use this for other items, and I'm going to show you in a minute what we use this for here. But you can have any notes that you're working with right in here. Something like she likes cycling, yoga. Of course, I probably put that up in hobbies. Okay, pages she visits. She's on Facebook and Fox News in Huffington. Okay, kind of gives you an idea, what she's reading all the time. And let's go ahead and go USA Today. Okay, and I'm just going to put in here new account for I don't want to give away my clients, so I'll just put in first letter of their company name. Okay, so I'll get updated. Now, here's the power, is when you go into social accounts here, is you can create Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We don't actually go out and automate this process. And the reason is automated account builders it guarantees that your account is almost going to get banned immediately. I have used Autobot builders for at least 10 years. I've tried to get some good Autobot builders. And there used to be some good ones out there, but Facebook, really, they know an Autobot builder, it doesn't take very long for if a couple people all use the same, they'll start banning those accounts. And they don't even go through a verification. If they know it's Autobot account built, they'll just go ahead and ban it. So you want to manually set this up. This is where either you or your VA could come in and they would choose Instagram, put in the Instagram, whatever the URL, and I'll just abbreviate here, g.com/Nancy. That's an example. Okay. You would put in the username, the email, the password, all this. This is your database. This is where you save it. Now, the important part is, what is the verification phone number that you use? Because this is how you can make this is what they're going to verify you with. But if you have a real phone number, and I recommend SIM cards, and in the training that is included in here, is we go into what SIM cards. There's one that I use. It's $5 a month. I can put 4 Facebook accounts and about 5 Twitter accounts on one SIM card. There's in the UK, there's some cards that are kind of a multi-level marketing scheme out there that they only cost you 10 up front, but you don't have to pay for them for the next year. So it's we got different ideas on where we can get SIM cards in here. Social status. Is she active? Does she need verification? Has she been banned? You want to keep track of this on each social profile you build. Hit update. Okay. And again, you just keep on it. You can build as many as you want. You can have multiple Instagram, multiple Facebook. This is how you keep track of everything. Okay. And you keep track of their status here. Okay. So this is what your VA would be doing, or what you would be doing if you want to initially set this up. Now, I will set one up and I'll get usually I get Facebook as a starter, Twitter, Tumblr, Blogger, and then I'll go ahead and get a LinkedIn account. Once I warm up Facebook a little bit, then I'll open up an Instagram business profile. I'm not much on Instagram a lot, but I do Instagram business pages. So that's what I typically try to build. But everybody's going to have a different setup for their Minion. Think of your Minion as your social media marketer. Where are you going to be marketing your products? How are you going to share your products? How are you going to get viral trending going on? So Twitter is a great way, and Facebook profiles, Facebook groups. So each of these people, they can have Facebook groups along with their profile. Okay. Now, here's where we kind of go one step above anything you've ever seen. Is when you build a profile, here's one of the things that Facebook looks at. They look at your face profile. Does it ever change? If you never change that profile on your Facebook, and assuming you only come in there maybe 2 or 3 times a month, it triggers an algorithm with Facebook, and it does the same for Twitter, that they need to get a verification request if you don't ever change that Facebook profile. That's one of the algorithms. So what we did was, you had this one picture. You will never be able to get this picture back again because we have millions generated and this person does not exist. So when you lock it in, keep it. But you need multiple profile shots. So we have, this one's highlighted. I'm going to do a mirror effect. So we just flip them. Okay, so I'm going to store that image. Okay, now let's go ahead and give her a sad face. And it's generating a sad face for us. Sometimes the sad face doesn't look quite sad. Maybe it's maybe a little freaky there, but it is a different image, different profile points that Facebook's image recognition tool will not see that as the same image. So what we've done is we've created 3 different images here. Now I'm going to go to the one that we just flipped, and I'm going to remove the background. This is the one that takes probably 10, 15 seconds to do, but it's trying to remove the background around the head so that you can put different backgrounds in there, which we have different background images here. And these are, while we're waiting on this, these are ones that cost us money each month. So we buy a big lot of credits, and based on what level you get with the Minion Builders is how many credits. But the remove background, oh, okay, that's not too bad. Now we're going to store this as a PNG. Now here's some of the cool things that you can do with these images is, see if it's saving. Well, it's working there. Yep. Okay. So we've got a PNG, and all these are JPEGs, but we store them online on inside of Amazon. So you have an online image URL that you can access from anywhere, from your phone, tablet, PC, or somebody else's computer. You could share this with Facebook. You just copy this URL link and post it into your Facebook profile. But here's one step easier. We can generate a QR code for you. So if you don't want to retype this, or you don't even want to go through the process of moving it to your phone, we've got a QR code. Just read it in with your phone. You could aim your phone here, shoot that QR code, and put it on your phone. And then the phones, most mobile apps now, there's a lot of photo manipulation tools on Android and iPhones. So we got a mirror effect, and we got a remove background. So I'm going to go down here to remove background, and I'm going to add, we've got a whole bunch. Let's give her maybe a, so let's put a Christmas background. So we take her image and we're going to put a little Christmas background. And again, this is good for Facebook. It's great for Twitter for changing the profile out. Okay. Now let's go in, and I'm going to pull this one up, and let's go ahead and make it a Tunify. Now you've seen these cartoon characters of these profiles. Again, all we're doing is just giving you that one thing that the social accounts are looking for, is that you're constantly updating. Now, I try to update my images on my Minions about every 2 to 3 months, but I've only got one picture. So I've got to make that one picture, with all the manipulation that we're doing with it, I've got to make it into 12 or 15 different looks. So that looks pretty good. Now, for Halloween, you could probably run the entire month of October with these zombie-fi and Halloween-fi. When you post these, you're going to get engagement. People can go, oh, I like it, or they'll share it. They'll talk about, hey, this is pretty scary type deal. Zombie-fi. Okay. So this is a good one for October. So as you can see, I've generated about 8 different images here. And I'm going to come back here, PNG. Let's do another background. And let's put her in the classroom. Okay. Now it does look like a cutout here. So what I would maybe use is a darker background. So I'm just going to come in here and well, there's Halloween scenes there. Nightlife cityscape. See what this looks like. Okay, that's pretty good. So store image. Okay. And if you ever want to see what they all look like, one of my favorites, let's see if I can generate that. One of my favorites is the caricature. And this just gives you a really good image you can use. It's kind of like if somebody did a cartoon artwork of your profile image. Yep. So I use this a lot in my social profiles. Okay. So we got 9 pictures that we did in less than 5 minutes. You've got enough for a couple of years worth of work for a Minion in switching out your profile images. But if you wanted to, you can actually bring in some more. So if you're doing some work on your phone and you want to bring in, some of the fancy stuff you can do on the photo editors on phones, you can bring them in right here. You just browse and hit upload. Okay. So that is the image maker. This is what's going to keep you out of hot water on verifications right there. Now, we take this one step further because as a marketing agency, when you're writing ads, you're writing copy, is you want to write to a person. You don't want to just turn on a blank screen and say, I want to send this to all internet marketers or all people interested in dog training. You want a person to write to. So that's what we have right here is a avatar maker. So you could fill in all this stuff for family status or children, college level, demographics, where does she live, her language. And once you fill this in, we create infographics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab one of my ones that is one of our actual avatars that we write our copy to, or our emails. I'll just bring up Minions, and group is avatar. Oops. Here. This is one of our actual avatars that we're using. So we'll come over here, go into Avatar Maker, and I've gone in, I've really personalized this person. Daniel Woods, he's a content marketer. He's married, 2 kids, 12 and 9. So he's busy all the time. Went to Texas A&M. He's got an MBA. Here's his salary. So you can kind of get an idea of what this person is about, what stage of life he's at. So when you're writing copy, you want to write to this person. And talk about, struggles at home because you're coaching football and soccer and you're going to all these events. So that's how your copy would flow with it. Demographics. He owns a home with a 30-year mortgage. So he may be concerned about mortgage payments. Leisure time activities, influencers. I just threw that one in, Damon Nelson. Websites, media, travel habits, identifiers, how does he prefer to be communicated with? Key differentiators. He's frequently online. So these are just ideas that I put in that I'm defining this character. I used to do these avatar profiles for my clients, and I charge them $1,000 for it. And they would gladly pay for it because they would turn this over to a copywriter. Now, this is what I gave them. You can see all these different blocks that you would fill in. I've got a personality index, so you can kind of change that around. And we've got all these infographics. So this is the persona maker. This is the full report here. We use a page rewriter on it. So now we've got a full page that people write copy to or write copy with. So if you read through all this, you know where he lives, how old he is. Come down here, identifiers, values and traits, narrative. So that's his bio that we pulled in. So this is really good information for you. So we took it one step past just building a persona. You're building an avatar. You're building somebody that is your customer. Okay. So that's kind of the demo. Now, here's some of the other things that we added to it. So you can always check your credits, just do an audit of where you're spending credits. And the credits are what we use. Like we made a caricature, I spent 4 credits, change background, so you can kind of get an idea there. If you need extra credits, they're cheap, 200 additional credits for $7 or 500 for 15. And you can export these minions. If you want to pull the entire database down, you could do that. Or you can just export the social account. So you may want to use this as a backup. But we did this is we have a Minion Transfer feature. So anybody else that has this software, if you want to buy a Minion from them or that you want to sell a Minion, what I would do is I have a creator key. I would pass that to somebody that I want to transfer the Minion to. And then I can come up here to my Minions. And let's see, in fact, we'll just pull that recent one here. Is Nancy. Oh, actually, I'll put Cynthia. Now I'm going to transfer that to Wayne. So I've got him in, I've got his creator key. He gave that to me. So I'm going to transfer that. Now you want to make sure you want to transfer, because once it's gone, you never get this back again. So she's gone. She's in Wayne's database. So that's how easy it is to transfer among Minion Builders. And here's the other thing. This is something we started, I think 3 weeks ago, is we have a marketplace now. So now, in fact, I've got one of them up here. Number of images, I've got 6 images with Brenda. She's got a Facebook account. She has 2 Facebook groups, a profile page, an Instagram business page, Twitter, LinkedIn, Tumblr. I've got a SIM card that would come with it, which is $5 a month. She's 120 days old, and she's seasoned with my Jarvie. I've got her listed for $12.95. Now, when I transfer, all this would go over to the new buyer, and I would have to mail that little SIM card so they could put it into their phone for phone verification. Now, it is a US SIM card, so it's probably only going to work in the US. But this is a real profile. This is a real person, a real fake person, as we started the call with. Brenda is good for doing a lot of marketing. She's in lifestyles, and so I think the 2 Facebook groups that she has is, I want to say one is lifestyles and one is I can't even remember what the other one was. The VA set this up. But she is a real person that can come in and like your pages. She can also share your information from your groups. So she's a member of all my groups, and she may be making comments on our behalf inside of different Facebook groups. So I've got her listed in here. You know, they don't sell fast because we just opened this up, but this is a method for you to sell your minions or go in and buy minions. So if you're interested in buying, like here's Rosa, all this is just images. I don't know who the seller is, but you can contact seller right here, and it sends a generic email. In fact, we'll contact seller here. And so the seller was actually contacted 11/1. So I'm just sending it again to her. So this, you would get an email notification, which would ring up here whenever somebody's interested in buying something off the marketplace. This is going to be really popular in the very near future, is as people start adding to the marketplace and people start buying. Sometimes it is easier to buy a minion if they've got a SIM card and they got IP and they've got 6 months worth of transactional data, where they've actually been going into Facebook or Twitter or one of these socials. They're active already. So why spend all the time making them active if you could buy one that's already active, if the price is right. So that's the marketplace. All our software, we always have a fact. This is a SaaS app, meaning you don't have to download it. You don't have to worry about updates or version changes. We handle it all. We also tell you what we've done, our most recent version fixes right there. And then if you ever need support, you can we have a support ticket system in here. And very, very easy. So primarily you're going to be creating and managing your minions. Now, over here is where you can create sub-accounts. This is where you would set up your VAs. And you can also, if you get the agency level, we have an import feature. if you have a spreadsheet already, you could bring it in, but it's so easy to create them here. I don't know why you would want to create them somewhere else and bring them in after you have the database. So anyway, any questions at this point?
I don't see any over there, Damon, but this is amazing, man. I mean, this is really, really awesome. My mastermind members and I meant to talk to them about this last night, but we got so confused in everything that we were talking about, all the SEO stuff, that I didn't. But we've talked about this type of thing in the past, setting up, profiles and how to really manage them. And you've just put it together in such an awesome way of having this tool going in, making all the backgrounds. Personally, when you were doing this with those pictures of changing out the lady's background, I mean, it just made it so much easier to manage everything.
Yep.
And it is
you'll use
awesome.
these pictures. In fact, you'll use these pictures on a whole bunch of things. I've got, just to give you a little ideas, not even just socials. This is the website I'm building up here, but I've got a blog that I'm doing listicles on, and come down here. I built these in Minion Builders, and it took me 3 minutes to build them out. Took them over to Canva, made a round circle, made a little image. So this is the face of this website right here. It's Mike and Donna, they're a team.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get excited about this because I know the work involved to do exactly what I just showed you how to do. It took about 10 minutes total to build everything out. Now the avatar, the avatar maker, to fill in all that, you still have to have, think about your customer and know a little bit about your customer. But once it's all set up, I refer back to that avatar maker whenever I'm writing any emails. That's the person I'm writing to. But to have everything all in one place just makes it really handy. And you don't, I would avoid making minions sometimes because I didn't want to think about creating a bio, and it's easy. It's already auto-generated here for you.
I know, that's amazing. I do have one comment in here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear. One of your users, Richmore, asked, he owns us at the agency level. I have a VA set up in the sub account to create minions, but I can't see what she has built in my dashboard. Can you please show this? He's trying to figure out where to see his minions that she's created.
Okay, it should be in here. If she's actually created any, it should be in here. To create the sub account, you would just go in and you could add John Smith, just an example. Put their email address, that's the important part, and give them a password. Are they allowed to create minions? Yeah, you want them to create minions. Are they allowed to transfer them? I'd probably say no here. But then you would choose whatever groups you want them to manage. Now, if for some reason that VA is not, their activity is not showing up, put in a support ticket because we'll need to check it.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. So the only way I can see them is if I use her username and password and go into her dashboard.
Okay, and that's, with you being the admin level, you should be able to see what she has from within your admin account. So yeah, we just need to check that. And it may just be a setting that we need to configure on your account. But yeah, you should be able to see it from your admin level.
Yeah, I would say contact them, Richmore. Steve Bailey, he uses this system. It makes all the headaches go away. Steve, I have no doubt, dude. I'm telling you, everybody should be using this. The minions are amazing, Damon. I love it. I love what you've done.
Well, thanks. And it's kind of fun to build these profiles because, you don't necessarily, sometimes some of these minions I don't even use for Facebook. I use them for websites. They're the authors of, with RSS Master, creating websites is easy, especially Master sites. We've got hundreds of pages out there. Well, they all need authors, to write the article. And I don't want my picture as author on every single site. And that actually leaves a footprint. So we have a minion for every site that we build. We have at least 2 to 3 authors. So that's why we built Minion Builders with it. So it's really easy to use. Um, is there anything else I can show you on this before we continue with the strategy call?
I don't think so. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Continue
Okay.
on. No, you've covered everything, man. I mean, it's awesome.
Perfect. Now, we've done the demo. As the bonus is the customer avatar maker. And you may never use it, but then you may have a specific, if you're writing copy, if you're writing anything to sell, you need to have a picture of a person that you're actually talking to, especially if you're writing emails. You know, you're doing any type of autoresponder system. You want to write to a person, and there may be two different profiles that you're using. Light sell training. Now, I've kind of mentioned this. We have figured out the IP issue, the proxy issue. There's a service we recommend, Session Splitter, and you can spoof Google Chrome windows, and you can have a residential, or you can get a mobile proxy with it. So from within your desktop or your laptop, you can have multiple windows open and just the click of the button. You're changing tabs, changing profiles. So you can use that. Chameleon, which is Simon Dottius, I haven't even checked it yet. The first version of it was a upgrade from Browsio, and it didn't work. So we're not. I hope this new iteration works. But Session Splitter is a good choice. However, if you're serious about building minions and you want a stable IP, when you create an Amazon light sell server, which you can get, I think it's cheap as $10 a month or $12 a month. It's actually just like you've got a computer, but you get an IP with it. This is an Amazon IP, which is probably the strongest IP that you can have. It is attached to their server, wherever the server's at, and you can build your profiles on those light sell servers. I use remote desktop connection, so I can just type in remote desktop, I choose what light sell, and I just go straight into it. It's like having another desktop sitting at the same desk that you're at. You're just switching between desktop servers. And I use a Windows platform. So the only thing I ever have on these light sell servers is just social accounts. But that's where I kind of manage them from. And I've got two desktops at the house that I use. So I'll wheel the chair over to the other desktop and go to the, so instead now I'm starting to use light sell servers. So we have complete training on how to do all this. Marketplace, that's very, very new, but I think this is going to, in the future, be a place that either you're a builder or you're a buyer. And I know there's a couple of builders in here, and that's what they want to do. Is that they're good at setting everything up, but they don't want to manage it long term. Well, then you got some people like me that want to buy one already built and just transfer it over and reset, verify the phone number. Anytime you change an IP, you're going to get a phone number verification. That's why we like SIM cards. So in the training, as I even tell you what phones to go buy, the Android phone that I have is a black box or something like that. And it's almost indestructible. I think I could throw it out of a 2-story building and it wouldn't break. It's a brick. But I also have a 12-in-1 splitter, so I can put a whole bunch of SIM cards and just punch a button, and it will use that particular phone number. So we train you on how to do all this. And to me, that's the important part. Okay, minions are real easy to build. You just saw how easy they are. But now, how do you set them up with Facebook so you're not going through all those re-verification requests? So here's the link. It's vidpenguin.link, Minion Builders special, and use this code. It's BOWS20. You're going to get 20% off for this launch special. It's good for the next 72 hours. So make sure you use that coupon code. It could save you a lot of money. We have 3 packages: Standard, Pro, and Agency. And we'll just kind of quickly look at that so you know what you're getting. Most people are getting the Agency because it's almost unlimited everything.
Yeah, I was looking at that. It was you have an amazing deal up there, Damon. And the discount, guys, I didn't realize this. I thought it was like a 10% discount. I just put in the discount code. I was like, holy shnikes. Does Damon know what he put in there?
Mike, that's why I wanted to give you the best code that we have out here.
Good
So
gosh, man. That's a freaking big code, dude.
Bose 20. So this is a lifetime deal. It's, you know, you don't have to keep paying for it. You may have to buy credits. That's the only thing. So $79 discount on the agency, $317. So it's pretty decent deal.
Yeah, pretty decent, pretty darn big, man. That's a big discount. So that's awesome. You guys definitely got to put that in there.
Yeah, and with the agency, you're going to get unlimited minions. You don't have to worry. You can build as many minions as you want. Images per minion, it's 100. Social accounts, unlimited. Tunify, profile pics. You can do that. You can use I didn't even show you the image editor. This is a basic image editor, but you could put like a lower third, or you could do some glitter effects, image light flares, you know, stuff that you would do like an Instagram image editor. Team management, I think that's available in all of them. Image credits, you can start off with 3,000 credits here, but you're going to get the boot camp. This is a 6-week course that we originally charged $397 for. So if you get the pro or the agency, you're going to get the training. This is the training to show you exactly how to set them up, the tools we use, that phone that I recommend, the 12-in-1 card that we recommend, even the SIM cards. And guys, I've got I think 7 or 8 of these SIM cards. I found them, they're part of the T-Mobile system, and they were like emergency cards. So you only get like 100 text minutes, or 100 texts and 100 minutes of calls. So I don't use them as a phone. I just use them to verify. And like I said, you could get I've gotten 4 Facebook on one card. I really like to have 2 Facebook and 4 Twitters. That's kind of the way that I have one card that went, they said I had too many on there. So the other thing is use Google Chrome, Firefox, and Edge. So you can kind of have multiple 2 accounts per browser. So you get 3 good main browsers on your light cell or on your desktop. You can have, you know, 6 to 8 accounts per system. And on the agency, as I had a Minion Mastermind. Now this is kind of dated. It's I think we recorded it in, and I want to say 2016, because I had a Bid Minions course at the time. And this was kind of like, what do you do with a Minion? Well, guys, you can do Yelp reviews, you could do Google reviews, you could do Facebook reviews, you could do Facebook Marketplace. This is a great way to make money with the Facebook Marketplace. And when I was doing Yelp reviews, I probably shouldn't tell, I guess I could tell everybody, is I was eating really well in 2015, 2016, is I had a Yelp review service. And I had, I think, 20 minions at the time. They all had 20 Yelps. And so I could go in and move the needle on somebody on Yelp as far as the restaurants in Dallas. And this was in Dallas. So, you know, if a restaurant could get moved up from page 3 or 4 up to page 1 because they had 20 good reviews hit in a matter of 6 weeks, it could make a big difference to a restaurant. Now, you can't sell reviews. So I'm telling you that, but I had minions, if you know what I mean there. Nowadays, it's a lot of work at the time, it was a lot of work to maintain them because I didn't have Jarby, I didn't have Session Splitter or Light Cell server. So I think I had 4 or 5 desktops in my in my marketing office that I was using. So anyway, it's some ideas. So that's what Minion Mastermind is. It's ideas about what you can do with your minions. And so anyway.
Honestly, if people can't come up with ideas for their own business here, Damon, they shouldn't be in business, man. I mean, this is opening the door to so many opportunities for people's businesses. And I hate to sound, I feel like a preacher saying that this is going to open doors to your soul, man. But it really does, because it makes life so much easier. It makes life so much easier. I had a couple of questions here. I hate to pop in on you.
No,
Do you mind if I ask you a couple of
No, go ahead.
questions? All right. Hector asked over on Facebook, once you set up the Minion, what kind of things can you do with your Minion?
We use it for, and that's a good question, is, I mean, the Minion Mastermind tells you some ideas, but we use them for authors of our, we have auto blogs. We got a lot of auto blogs. So they're authors on our sites. That's the first thing that we use them for. When I build people's sites for them, as I'll put a couple minions in there. And in fact, I've got some of them on my database, but I try to, they're for Twitter accounts and Tumblr accounts. Is I'll set them, and then ultimately you want a Facebook and an Instagram with it. But for worst case scenario, you want to get a Twitter account to go with each site that you build. And as you have Twitters, you'll start retweeting, or you'll have different Twitter accounts that you want to socially syndicate content. So if you have a blog post and you have 10 people talking about it, you're going to get a lot more traffic than just creating your blog post and setting it out there. And if you have 100 people talking and retweeting and sharing and engaging both on Facebook and Twitter, now you've got social traffic. It's in addition to the organic traffic that you get. The more people come into your site, Google sees it. It starts moving you up in page ranking. But you also make money on social traffic. My Facebook groups. I mean, Michael and I, long time we've had Facebook groups. We do a lot of business out of Facebook groups.
Yeah.
So you could set up Facebook groups. You can manage, and you might have a completely different genre. Me personally, I probably would not be the good face of a pregnancy Facebook group. That's
Dude,
just not me.
The poster child, man. You should go for it.
I'm not the poster child for that. So you might have a female that just went through pregnancy, has 2 kids, and she could talk about raising adolescents. So there's different groups, different interests that you would want to have somebody else as the face for it. So you could do an Instagram page, you could do a Pinterest. Pinterest is coming back online, guys. Their API has been shut down for almost a year and a half now. Their API is starting to open back up. And I know my social scheduler that I use is SocialBee. They have an API now with Pinterest. If you want a lower cost ad cost, Pinterest is a great way. TikTok, that's another ad source that's coming on. I'm testing TikTok versus YouTube for paid ads. TikTok is just killing it. I mean, I'm getting 8-cent clicks, 10-cent clicks.
Wow.
I mean, YouTube, they used to tell you YouTube ads so much cheaper than Facebook ads. Nah, YouTube ads are twice as much as Facebook ads. So
that's true. That's a lot. That's awesome, Damon. I got another question for you from Hick. And Hick asked, what is the pro image credits? How many full-blown minions can we create with 3,000 credits?
Good question. Good question. Let's go back over to look at. I don't really want to show the current guys I'm using.
Damon, we all know that they are, as you said, I think we now call them, politically correct word is birthing persons.
Yes.
So they're all birthing person personas.
I'm going to go to Angela Murray, and I'm going to go into her images. And Angela has a lot of images. I think we did this one on demo. But I want to, I like this because that's a very good profile image. That's her main profile image. And here's a tuna fiver, and here's a zombie fi. You can tell, I mean, I get into this, and I did a smile and a flip. So let's see what show example images. We built this so you can kind of see what the credits are for. So Tunify will cost you 2 credits. Emojify is 4. Caricature is 4. Zombie is 4. Halloweenify, and then remove background is 1. So if I look over here, is mirror effect, that doesn't cost you anything. Surprise is nothing. These cost you a little bit. So I think with all this is I've spent maybe 20 credits on this to build this out. Sad. Anything on this top line doesn't cost you anything. And here's the image editor, and it doesn't cost anything. These are the ones that cost credits, and the most expensive is 4 credits.
4 credits, awesome. Man, that covers it. I just got a comment from Rich Moore. Rich was asking, since this is a one-time offer, what else do you have in your business that would continue maintaining this for years to come? Because I think concern among people is sometimes that, well, a lot of times that if there's no monthly coming in, how do you continue to support it for years?
Well, we have a wide range of products right now. So
exactly.
Yeah, and this is the product that we use. Rich, I have to tell you, it is going to monthly probably in 3 months. It's going to be cheap. It's going to be.
I don't know why you haven't already, man. I mean, this is a steal, and I think I told Damon before this when we were talking on the call, which, by the way, was supposed to be about minions, but of course, I turned it into something else for like an hour and a half. I ranted and raved, and finally, Damon's like, "Hold up, Michael, will you shut up and let's just talk about minions?"
But we did solve who shot JFK.
There we go. We found it, man. We found it.
So anyway, to answer the question, it's about 20 or 30 credits will build a really big profile, but you could use all the free credits you want. To answer, yes, we're going to go to a monthly. It's going to be cheap. They're not going to have the database with it. They'll have to buy additional credits. We may even have a trial where they, can build one image and they can't do anything else. The idea here is with the Minion Builders is we want to get as many people that we can into the system so that the marketplace, you have a place to buy and you have a place to sell. And to transfer minions between Minion Builders, real easy. You just get their creator key and you can move it across to them. So we do want to add more than just y'all will be, if you get the pro or agency, you're going to get the actual training that we did on how to do all this. Turn it over to your VA. If you don't want to build minions, there's VAs out there, Craigslist.ph, that's the Philippine. I use that to hire English speaking VAs. That's a tip that is a very valuable tip. It took me a long time to find that source. It's Craigslist.ph. But they can build all the minions that you want for you, or you can build them yourself. I personally, I like building them myself and then turning the management over to either Jarvie or to the VAs to go in and, scroll, like, engage. So very good question.
That's a great question. All right, got another one here. First off, Steve Bailey says the Minion Builder training is great and perfect for your VA training, by the way. Awesome, Steve. And George asks, can I be given more minions than I have slots?
Well, if you get the agency, you can have unlimited minions.
I think he's asking, can I be gifted more minions than I have slots? So you would need agency. So basically what you're saying is you need to have all the openings so you can put them in there.
Yeah.
I would definitely go with agency. Agency is such a great deal, by the way, Damon, like I was saying earlier, is, if people are thinking, well, I can definitely do 297. If you put in that code, it's right above 297 for the agency. So why not, right?
It brings it to 317.
Exactly.
And you know, if you're building this for yourself, you know, you could probably get by with professional. And you know, if you just want to try it out, you know, use the coupon code standard. This is probably what we're going to do monthlies. And when I say monthlies, we'll kick it out on JVZoo as a monthly, or we'll do a Facebook ad funnel with monthlies, and the monthlies will be bumped up in the sales funnel. We're pretty good at doing a bump up. Now, guys, on this launch, there are no bumps. There's no extra stuff that you can buy. This is all inclusive. Michael, it's been really good to me over the years, and I wanted to be really good to y'all too. And no upsells. This is it.
Yeah, someone put over on this was in the Platinum group, and just talking about a relationship for how long we've known each other. And this gentleman responded and said that he actually lives near you, Damon. And he's like, surprisingly, I live pretty close to Damon. It's like, listen, if I live, this is what I wrote on Platinum. If I live close to you, dude, I'd buy a 6-foot Minion and put it in your front yard about 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what I would do. That's my grand plan, my whole life. That's what I think about. I mean, when you said the price, not to go on heresy here, but when you said the price 317, it popped into my head the Bible verse 316. I thought, God so loved the world, he created the minions. And I went, wait, I probably shouldn't say that live on a webinar, but here we are. So that's what I think in my head. Wherever I hear things instantly, God so loved the world, he created the minions, and the great discount code.
So yeah, it's, you know, it, and I tried to get you everything that you need. I mean, I'm building these myself, and let's look at how many credits I've used. I mean, that's probably a good indicator. Dashboard. I started out with I think he put in 5,000. So I've used a few credits, but I got 68 minions, and I built them. Just last week, I probably built 10 minions, and they're authors. You know, so I've got an image, I've got a bio, I do them right when I'm setting them up, and now they're authors on my Autoblocks, on my WordPress sites. And anytime you build any type of WordPress or blog of some type, you need somebody to write it. And you don't want your name everywhere there's a blog, because at some point in time, Google's going to start going, okay, that's his blog, and they'll start tracking. And that's how you create a footprint, or that's how Google creates a footprint for us. So anyway, it's real easy, and we organize them. You know, when you've got a status where they're at on setup, you have a group, you can name them anything you want, organize them however you want. Really easy to do. I was going to tell you one. This is the AppSumo secret here. Everybody's seeing my background here. I want to change it over real quick.
Yeah, you mean Crack Sumo?
Crack Sumo, and I told you I had a spaceship too.
I like that one.
This is the USS Vid Penguin.
The USS Vid Penguin. I love it.
That was RSS Masher rendezvousing with me in the background.
I like this one, man. That's a good background, dude.
And this is the air blimp. This is the USS Masher, or the Masher ship.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
This is my Colorado home right here. You know, a little waterfall in the background. But guys, I tell you, on AppSumo, this is what it really looks like. I have a wall behind me that's painted green. I do have Logitech camera, but it's a Canon mirrorless M200.
Okay.
And I want to show you the difference. This is totally outside of the Minions, but this is geeky stuff. You know, hopefully y'all enjoy geeky
I love
stuff.
it. I love it, man. It's great.
Okay. So this is the Logitech. You see how washed out I am?
Oh yeah.
And even, you know, and it's a wider frame than the Canon. When I go back to the Canon, it's warm colors of the face. It has a face focus mode with it. and it hooks into your USB. It's built for webcams. So if you want to up your game, I don't know how much the M200 is, but you can really up your webinar game or your Zoom game.
Yeah.
And then I come in, and on AppSumo there was a product, and I'll have to share the exact name. Let's see. I guess I could pull it off my AppSumo here. But it's a product that was, I think, $19 or $29. I mean, it was I think 8 or 9 video backgrounds and a dozen static backgrounds. And it's really, really cool. And you just add them to your virtual backgrounds. I got one. Yeah, this is my ski resort.
Yeah,
So,
that's really nice.
yeah, you got a little fire, you got a little snow going back there. But I want to say it was $19 on AppSumo.
Wow.
So you buy this, you upload on Zoom your virtual backgrounds, or you could do it on Skype, so you can have virtual backgrounds. And then you turn your camera on, and I've got a green wall, and you can have a green sheet or whatever you have. And then you just tell it to use these virtual backgrounds. And Zoom does a really good job. When I went from, this is the Canon, but I'll go in, I'll switch cameras real quick. I always use this as the backup. So you still see a little bit of my desk over here.
Oh yeah.
But you can use it. I mean, it doesn't give a good effect, but again, it helps having a green background with it.
Yeah, I like that, man. Especially the snow. That makes me hope for winter.
An early winter here. So anyway, that's pretty. It's pretty neat. I've really enjoyed it. I've been on Zoom calls with clients, and whenever you have a background like this, or here's the other background I use a lot, is the tell them I'm at the California office. And if they're not familiar with Zoom, they're looking at my background, they're going, you must be pretty pricey what you charge in your consulting. If you've got an ocean on both sides.
Yeah, you're on your own private island.
Yeah, I'm on an island.
You've made yourself king, so you don't have to pay taxes.
So it's a
awesome.
pretty neat little deal. I've got the product. I'm bringing it up on AppSumo here, but it's
yeah, it actually fooled me one time when I was talking to you, and you had one of these backgrounds. I was like, man, what a nice office. And then I realized that you were on yeah, old Mario over there asked, what is the name of the crack sumo background package? Laugh out loud, King Nelson.
This is it right here. And they've actually, man, I need a refund and get it cheaper here. I paid $19.90 for it.
Jeez, man, what the heck?
And now they've got it for $9.90. Guys, this is one thing. If you don't buy anything else today, go out and buy this. This is
does the chick come with the product, man? Because I may buy that right now.
But you got 3D environments. Let's see, there's 20 virtual backgrounds, 7 animated. It's pretty
That's
cool.
Pretty awesome.
And he's never, in fact, there's one of my reviews. And if you want, now I'm telling you a little trade secrets here with your minions. Every one of your minions, what you would do is, I haven't done it yet, but I just now realize I could do it. You go in and you put one cheap product on there, and you buy that cheap product with your minions. So they all have different PayPal, and guys, just go up and get an Amex Serve card or a prepaid card and buy your cheap product. Now they're official AppSumo, and they can do a review. So what you do is you have your minions, you get 8 or 9 reviews, 4 and 5-star ratings, and you start moving up the list about what AppSumo is going to present on their rotation. And when you get up to 20 or 30 reviews, AppSumo starts paying attention and starts placing you in their marketplace and their higher profiles. So it's all based on reviews. So just a little tip, this is what you can do with Minions is you can have a product and then raise the price. When you get 20 reviews, raise the price. You can change it to whatever you want there. And
that's awesome.
Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this call today. I hope I've given you enough things to think about, fun stuff. And like Steve Bailey said, and Steve, I appreciate you saying this, is when you're thinking about, I need to do some work, and if you know in the back of your head it's going to take you a few hours to do it, you're not going to do it. But if it takes you a few minutes to do it, you go, oh, I'll go ahead and do it and get it done. And then, then you could start with the building process, or your VA could start with the building process. But these minions, we use them. So that's all I can tell you is it does save you time, and it's not going to make you any money unless you take action with them.
Exactly. And that's a big thing. I do have one last question here from Arthur. Arthur asks, are Canada and USA the only countries available to set up for a mini in your database? Are foreign languages supported as the values in the fields? Arthur is in Israel.
Okay. Arthur, these are the name sets that we have right now. I don't anticipate us adding any new ones, but you can put in, we'll do Italian, we'll do Italy. You can actually put in whatever address that you want with it. In Israel, let's just copy that selected minion. Go over here to my minions. And I'll give you a little trade secret of how I used to do this. Now, I don't know if this is the new one, so I'm going to hit edit. And I don't know if Zillow is over there, but I would go to a real estate listing. In Tel Aviv. So I'm going to go in here to Remax. And I'll just try to find a condo price range, 80 to 100,000. And so I would try to find an address using some type of real estate listing. And I don't read that, so I wouldn't be able to tell you the actual address. But I used to use Zillow. So I use Zillow in the US, and you can find addresses for houses that sold 10 years ago, or condos or apartments. So you could even do apartments for rent. And so I would get an address, and that's what I would come back here to my Minion Builders, and I would just put that address in there. So that's how you make it into an Israeli minion.
Awesome. Awesome. That looks great. I don't see any other questions. Any last questions from anybody? Dropping in the Facebook or into the chat here. Awesome. Thank you so much, Mario. Mario says, thank you very much, Damon. It was an awesome call.
Thank you all for being on the call. I hope you learned something. Hope you get some takeaways and
absolutely. This was awesome, Damon. I really, really appreciate you coming up. Always love Damon's stuff. I've always supported Damon and everything he's done, even when he's tried to take over the world with his minions. Exactly. So really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Damon. Guys, for anybody that wants to replay, I'll be sending it out here in a little bit. Damon, thank you so much again for coming up here. Honestly, you make amazing products. And if they don't already have this, I think that from what I've seen on the chat, everybody's like, we've already got all the minions and we're rocking it out with them. So I'm like, doggone it, I had a minion party in here. So
Well, I recognize
everybody
there's
that's-
probably, there were several on there that already had minions, and hopefully they
Exactly.
picked up something.
exactly, you Minion people. I love it. That's awesome. So thanks a lot, Damon, again for coming on. This is awesome stuff, and we'll see y'all in the replay.
Okay.
All
Bye-bye,
right,
y'all.
cheers. I think you're